What's up today, boys and girls? Today I'm going to be talking about this new BMW code reader that I bought from Launch, and it's known as the Creader Elite. And I just want to start off by saying that I've been using Launch technology for quite a few years. I had a small, it almost looked like a tablet before I had this thing. And this thing here I bought right around the same time I bought my M5, so I've had this for about 7 years. And I want to start off by saying the nice thing about Launch products is you don't have to pay for upgrades. You don't have to pay for the new software, the new versions. I had this for 7 years. Every year when they come out with new updated software for it, you just simply take your card out, your chip, clear it, plug into your laptop with your USB cable, load the new software onto your chip once you put the chip in your computer and erase it, and away you go. I've had no troubles with this code reader, and it does a lot of stuff and it does a lot of vehicles. But my latest troubles with my M5, since the bears hit it last year, the cub hit the front and the mother hit the side of my car. I've now got some pretty big issues going on with this car. The PLCD sensor on the transmission, so basically the clutch position sensor, has failed, or is in the process of failing. The car doesn't want to start. The insurance company gave me a major screw around and has the car stuck in a clutch adaptation mode. So with this scanner here, I was not able to even play with any of that stuff or clear it or nothing. So basically the car is stuck in undrivable mode. So what I did, since I purchased this new one, I've probably spent 3 if not 4 hours now playing around with it plugged into my two cars. And I've only actually found one thing so far that this won't do, and it's actually on my E39. It will not reset the oil life. As you see, I just made a separate video for that just a few minutes ago. But I want to talk about this new scanner and just how amazing it actually is. So when you first power it up, you got to give it your email address. It actually hooks to your internet at your house if you have internet. And one nice feature is when you have a code, you can actually do a code search, and this thing will whip right on the internet and show you what your code means. But it doesn't have its own system. It just basically uses Google for that. So another neat thing is it shows you your battery voltage up in the top corner there, 12.4, 12.6. So literally, as soon as you hook this thing in, it's giving you some pretty good information. So we're going to go in. Now I notice this is version 51 software on this reader. I think the reader out on my hood has like version 12.5. And another nice thing is this device is all touchscreen. I will say that it does seem to be a little bit timely in doing its thing. Like right now it's processing, it's just getting into everything. Then we go here to, well, I'll just show you some things it does. So we got special functions. And I watched a video before I bought this tool. A guy basically said that this here will do anything that the dealership can do. And by the looks of it, I'm almost going to say he's right, because to do a clutch adaptation in that car takes a special kind of software. But again, as you can see, the tool is a little bit timely in doing its thing. We are now only at 3%. And we just went into a special function mode, so this isn't even really doing the full scan of the car. But what I find is when you do the full scan of the car, and then you want to go into something else, it's got to scan again. So a little bit of time gets burned up in the process of waiting for this machine to do its work. But that being said, as long as it does the work, who cares? It's saving you money from going to the dealerships, who are just absolute crooks. And as you can see, like, it checks everything. Like right from your air conditioning, wheel speed sensors, you can do Vanos testing. Like literally anything the dealership can do, this tool here can do it as well. So with buying this, my goal is, when the insurance company decides to not pay for the rest of this car that got damaged, I'm probably going to end up fixing it myself. And instead of having to go pay them guys a bunch of money at the dealership to reprogram it for me after I put the sensor in, and plus have to tow it, I just don't want to do that. I don't like wasting money like that. So with this tool here, when I install the new sensor in my M5, this should be able to clear my issues and get me back up and running. And I actually know it will, because the car would not start, would not run. It's been sitting here in the driveway for weeks, and I plugged this in earlier and played around with it a little bit, and boom, I had the M5 fired up earlier. So as you can see, it does take a few minutes for this thing to do its thing, but it's worth it. So then once it does its scan, then it gives you the ability to check stuff. Now on this car, there's really not much for special features. There's a little bit, but there's not a lot. So what I'm going to be doing with this car is, I found a few issues. One, I need a thermostat. My motor driving temperatures is under 70 degrees Celsius. According to this tool, in order to do the Vanos testing, you need to have the motor at least 80 degrees Celsius, which I cannot achieve. So already this code reader is coming into handy, giving me good information and stuff to go off. I mean, in the race world, you would think you'd want your motor to be cooler all the time, but just the way these newer BMWs are tuned, it likes to be up to temperature before it does its proper thing. So what I showed you there was just a couple of the special functions on this particular car. I assure you, on that car, there's way more underneath the special function list. But as you see, every time you do something on this, it's time. And you can automatically search, you can manual search. One thing I like about this scanner is, once you do the automatic search, you can, after it does its thing and loads up, it'll come up on the top, vehicle health, or health inspection, or something like that. So when it does that, when you click the vehicle health option, it'll basically scan every single system on the car and give you the full list of any codes that's in anything, once it has time to load and bring it up. Now, with my old reader, when it came to doing live data scanning, I was only able to watch and view 4 channels at once. And the limitations of what the old scanner does compared to the new one, sometimes only being able to watch 4 channels at once is a bit of a pain in the arse. So with this code reader, I was hooked to my M5 earlier. I was actually scanning 8 different live data things at once, and in just a matter of scrolling down, it shows you everything. So this thing shows you your voltage, your date, your internet connection. But again, you can see it is a little bit timely in doing its thing. I mean, we're almost at 10 minutes here in this video, and I really still haven't showed you that much of what this tool actually can do. So like anything, when I buy something new like this, I just get in one of my own vehicles and I sit here and play with it until I figure it out. If there's something I don't understand, then I resort to reading. Well, soon 74. So I've got to get a thermostat for this car. Also, I installed a 315 rear diff, and I've got a few codes underneath my DSC, your vehicle stability controller or whatever. Right now my traction control is always off because the 315s is throwing the input shaft ratios and all that stuff off. But I'm hoping that maybe with this tool I may be able to fix that and recalibrate it for the new gears that are in it, because BMW did make these cars with a 315 in them. So here's what I was saying. So we got health report, system scan, system selection, special function again, anti-theft system, and coding and programming. So if we just click on the top and go to this health scan, it literally will scan every single system in the car, and as it scans them, it'll tell you how many fault codes is in each one. And then once it's done loading, it's just a matter of touching it, clicking on it, and it will bring up the codes and show you what they are. Again, a little bit timely. So here you'll see under my anti-lock braking DSC is where I have these 3 codes from my 315 rear diff install. And just look at the list of the stuff this is scanning. It literally does it all. Won't let you do anything until it's done loading, of course. The only thing that disappoints me is where it takes the time to do the first big scan when you first go into it. You shouldn't have to friggin' go through this every single time. Especially cars, like BMWs, where there's, 15, 20 computers in the thing and all kinds of stuff that can go wrong. Come on. Like CD changer, rear compartment blower, navigation, digital sound processor, park distance control. This thing picks up stuff that my other scanner wouldn't even tell you. Hopefully it's soon done here so I can show you the rest of this video. Just give you an example of how to get into your codes. Oh my God. And you'll notice, while this is scanning and doing its thing, you'll have lights come on and off in your dash. My thing here is changing colors. So here's an example. Anti-lock system fault, 3 codes. So when it says fault in the number, it means there's 3 different codes below it. And we click that, it brings us into that ECU. Then we can read each individual fault code. DSC rotation rate, DSC steering angle, DSC does not fulfill torque request. So I'm hoping that with this scanner I'll be able to go into this special function and go to rate of rotation sensor, and hopefully I'll be able to recalibrate this car and maybe get the DSC and stuff working. If not, it's not the end of the world to me. I knew when I installed the gears it was going to change and make a difference. But the biggest reason I bought this scanner wasn't even for this car. The biggest reason I bought this scanner is for my E60 M5. But I just wanted to do a little bit of an in-depth video on how this machine works, how long it takes, blah blah blah. But this thing literally does everything. Had it hooked to my M5, it'll do brake bleeds, it'll do clutch bleeds for your SMG, it'll do clutch adaptation, literally does everything. It'll take you longer to scroll through all the stuff this does and figuring out where everything's at. But that being said, to have a dealership tool at your fingertips like this is one, a really nice feature when you have your own vehicles, but two, hopefully it'll make me a few dollars. Other people that have BMWs that have problems and don't have this technology, hopefully I'll be able to use it. So that concludes my video, and I bought this thing off Amazon. It was cheap, like $200 cheap, and it literally does everything. Now, one other thing I like about where it automatically connects to the internet, it shows you when you're due for upgrades, and already I just bought this, but it's showing I'm due for 3 upgrades. So once I hook to my internet, get close enough to the house that it picks it up, then I should be able to just hit that upgrade button and it should automatically do its thing. I shouldn't actually have to hook it to my laptop anymore with the USB cord, which this one here, everything's in the bottom. That's where your chip is, and that's where your plug-in goes. Actually, it doesn't even look like there's a chip in this one, so it must have internal storage. So if you want to put more storage into it, you can, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I know nobody's probably watching this video to the end, but if you did, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you have a BMW, you're probably going to want to invest in one of these scan tools.